Hello, hello, hello. Some eyebrows out of hand. Just gonna wait a moment here. Okay, so we are Thursday, September 15th, I believe. What are we on, day 4 or 5 of doing this? I think it's 4 of inspired messages. Today's is about imagination, but first I wanted to discuss a few things that are coming through message wise. Okay. So everything that we have been through, it does define us. Hi, Brittany. It does define us in a sort of way because it's an experience that we've gone through, but it doesn't have to be something that we carry with us for the rest of our life. The message coming through is when we can learn to love every single aspect and facet of ourselves and forgive ourselves, the more momentum we will gain in our life, because we are releasing our attachment to those things that we've gone through. So although they do define us, we could decide how they're going to define us. That's the feeling that I got this morning, and I called in sick today because I had a massive migraine. So something energetically is happening today, because I don't usually get those just for nothing. But the message is, keep moving towards loving every bit of yourself. None of us is perfect. We all have, parts of ourselves that we need to put effort into learning to love, like all of our facets. So, some of our trauma responses, or some of our, maybe even anger, or some of our wrinkles, as to say, when we learn to love every fold and every wrinkle and every imperfection of what makes us up, we send out a different energy into the universe. And I feel like that's the journey, is learning to love every little piece of ourselves, is understanding that we're human, and remember that we all decided that we would come into this world and we would experience these things. So we chose this life. And when we chose this life, we knew the lessons. Right now, from the perspective that we're in right now, we don't see the growth and the lessons. But each one of these things is never here to punish us. It's never here to make us suffer. It's there to cause discomfort and learning, so that we do heal and we do shift, and we do know the contrast between the amazing and the not so amazing points in life. It happens. And if you're in one of those spaces, understand that it's totally normal. It's normal. It's something we all go through, and we have to love it. Like, I have trauma responses, using myself as an example. Sometimes I'm envious, sometimes I'm jealous, sometimes I'm sarcastic, and I can be too blunt and too bold. But I've also learned over the years to really love this part of myself. I have some amazing parts that it's benefited me, but it didn't always. Sometimes it was awkward, and I've learned to grow through it. And not that I'm done my journey. I don't want to sound like that, but I think that it's a big gift that I've given to myself, is learning to trust myself, learning to love myself, even as I am. So today's transits, we have the moon continues in the sign of deliberate and patient Taurus until 4:17 Eastern time, harmonizing with the sun, Neptune and Pluto before it leaves the sign. The moon in Taurus is stabilizing and practical, but we also attend our spiritual, emotional, or mental health needs. It's natural to cooperate and harmonize with these influences. And I feel like part of the energy here is, we're learning in a society that doesn't normally foster mental health and looking after it and taking sick days and whatever it is that you need to do. We're learning to set the precedent here. A lot of us are a generation that are going to be making changes for the rest of the generations to come. The moon moves into Gemini at 4:17 p.m. and we begin to seek more variety of mental engagement. We're communicative, connected, and curious later today. So I'm very familiar with Gemini because I am a Gemini sun. Those of you that have Gemini as one of your trios in your natal chart will be familiar with the light and curious energy of Gemini. The void moon occurs from 8:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the moon's late aspect before changing a sign. So the void moon is a very potent opportunity for healing and manifestation. So we can use that today. If we've been having a tough beginning of the day, we can kind of tune in and do whatever our soul needs. So that's the messages that are coming through today. And I'm going to hop into here sharing. Start from the beginning, obviously. So imagination, and I'm starting to get a little bit more creative with these PowerPoints. I'm still very new to them. I do them for my courses, but I'm starting to learn a little bit more. So imagination is an inner resource you can draw upon in every facet of life. A resource that, if used wisely, has the power to shape who you are, how you choose to live, and what you contribute to the world. It can help you overcome challenges and bring about the deep level of change that are often required to achieve goals. And I really wanted to go over this lesson. I call them lessons because I just finished a whole year in my mentorship. So every time I do a presentation, it feels like a lesson. But this inspired message, which I did intuitively. I mapped out the rest of September with intentional messages, is all about, us utilizing this skill in our life. Whoops. Oh no. Hey, look, I figured it out from last time. Okay. So you may not know this, but your mind has the power to create and manifest whatever you want out of life, whether it is your dream job, the perfect partner, material possessions, or your desired relationships. Your subconscious mind, through your thoughts, is capable of producing vibrations that are being sent out into the universe. These vibrations end up joining forces with other vibrations that are in the same frequency to produce the outcome your subconscious desires. So we have this amazing ability to decide what it is that we want. The thoughts and visual images that you have sitting in your subconscious mind have the incredible power to influence the outcome of any given circumstances and situation. Therefore, you need to take control of your subconscious mind and command it. One of the best ways to accomplish this is by visualizing your desired outcome. And this is where imagination comes in. And this is where, word to the wise, everything that you're listening, reading, watching is going into your subconscious mind if you're doing it with repetition. So when we watch fear-based news on a repeated daily basis, we are programming ourselves to experience fear. So we have to be very conscious of what it is that we're surrounding ourselves by and who we are surrounding ourselves by, because it's so easy for us to lose focus of our dreams, let alone have other people influencing that as well. So really be careful with that. Visualization is nothing more than the process of recreating the sounds, feelings, and images of your desired situation in your mind. Therefore, visualization is a fantastic technique of using the power of your thoughts to manifest and create exactly what you want for your life. It is based on the idea that whatever we can design and imagine in our minds will manifest itself in our physical reality. And this is where, when we can bring ourselves back into that, you know, how easy it was as a child to get into that energy of manifestation, to feel that the wonder and the creativity just flowed so easily. So when you can bring yourself back into that state, you're really benefiting yourself in a big way. So for ages, the idea of visualization has been practiced by monks and mystics in the East. However, it became popular in the West when the book The Science of Getting Rich was published by Wallace D. Wattles, on one of the early American practitioners of visualization. Since the publication of his book, political leaders, athletes, and successful entrepreneurs have been practicing this technique. And it's so, so important to reconnect to your visualizations, because we can really get caught up in day-to-day life. And, you know, there are a lot of circumstances that go on and a lot of stress. So we can give ourselves breaks and be intentional about what it is that we are visualizing. So an amazing manifestation technique, visualization, is used by many successful people in every field, from business to sports to science. Scientists agree that a person can stimulate the same brain region when they visualize an action or a situation, and when they carry out the work or are in the specific situation. So you're stimulating that same part of your brain. It doesn't know the difference. And this is where the energy shifts, when we can get into this state of seeing things as if they are already achieved, as if we want them. And you'll notice when you start reflecting in your life, when you've had manifestations happen, how much you were, I like to call it obsessing, because that's what it feels like to me. I get into this state where this is all I ever want to do is live in this state of my dream already realized, how fast things improve. Already situation. One sec here. Oh, there we go. Thank you. So many studies have shown that patients who have suffered from a stroke can activate their brain to move their muscles by merely visualizing what they have moved, that they have moved a specific body part. Like placebo effect is a good example of this. Our brain is so immensely powerful. So we have this wonderful and amazing and magical skill to visualize what it is that we want to achieve. And whenever we fall flat from our goals and our desires, you know, do some research and some fearless inventory on yourself. Did you keep connecting to your visualization, or did you get distracted? And don't be hard on yourself if you have. If you've been practicing this and you fell off, you can start to see, you know, the steps that you're missing in your manifestations. And this is where we can start making big shifts in our life. So how and why visualization works. Your subconscious mind acknowledges the thoughts that you repeat often, and then it changes your mindset accordingly, followed by your actions and habits. So your subconscious mind acknowledges the thoughts that you repeat often. So be careful what it is you're telling yourself. And I get into these cycles every once in a while. I catch myself saying things just from old habits that are not my desired outcome. So I have to catch myself in these situations. So the process brings you into direct contact with your new circumstances, situations, and people. Your thoughts are charged with a new creative power that can shape your life and bring you what you think about. It is believed that these thoughts move from one mind to the next, and when they are strong enough, other people that are able to help you accomplish your goals and desires can pick up on them unconsciously. And this is where, when you move into this state, you're starting to live out your soul purpose, because part of your purpose is to become the best version of yourself, to be happy, to grow and experience the things in life that you were meant to experience. So when we start emitting this vibration, because everything is energy, people start magnetizing to you that are meant to be in your space. It just happens naturally. People come out of nowhere. A good example is Annie Marie. I had been intentional about wanting to connect with people on my Facebook business page. And that's not an easy feat if you're just moving into using this Facebook business page stuff. They want you to advertise in order to get a bigger audience, and their algorithms reflect that. So you have to know how to deal with that. And I decided to do a video. And when I first did my very first video, I fell flat. That's not the right way to say it. That's not what I mean. I didn't fall flat. It felt like I fell flat because I didn't have anybody hop on, and I had designed this whole healing circle with like interaction with people. So for me, it was very nerve-wracking. I didn't fall flat at all because I finished the entire video. So for me, that was a success. But Annie Marie was magnetized to me out of nowhere. And that was in 2018, I think it was, or late 2017. And we've been in each other's life ever since. It was a very, very important moment for me. She hopped on a card reading, and that's all because I started visualizing this situation. I was, going to start making an impact in people's lives, and I was visualizing it as an example. So how and why visualization works? It is essential to understand that thoughts are energy, particularly a strong desire that is filled with emotional power. In fact, thoughts can alter the balance of the energy around you while changing the environment accordingly. Most people tend to repeat specific ideas often. They concentrate their thoughts on their current situation and environment and create and recreate similar kinds of circumstances and events. This process reserves the same status quo and world. Fortunately, you can change your life's film by merely adjusting your thoughts. When you visualize different situations and circumstances, you can create a different reality. And this is where burning desire needs to come in, because it sounds so easy, like, oh, you just need to keep your thoughts aligned. Well, that subconscious mind is really a powerful thing. So that's where the burning desire carries you through. When you start going into your specific patterns of thoughts and words in your inner mind, you can alter it with intention. So you aren't using magical powers to accomplish this, but you are merely using natural laws and powers that everyone possesses. It isn't something tangible that you must change. You just need to focus on adjusting your thoughts and attitude, which will then change and remold your world. So specifically putting your intentions and energy into visualization and your imagination, allowing yourself and giving yourself permission to dream and dream big, and allow yourself to feel excited and happy. And sometimes feeling excited can feel scary for those of us that have experienced a lot of trauma and letdown in our life, because we've been given the message that we're always going to be let down. But being intentional is knowing that if you create the belief that that's no longer true, that it won't be true anymore. For instance, if you live in a small apartment and want a larger one, rather than complaining about your fate and lack of finances, All you need to do is change your attitude and thoughts and visualize living in a larger apartment and going about your day-to-day living in your apartment as if it was bigger. So really being intentional with your thoughts. Oh, we can barely see that, sorry. Creative visualization can help you to achieve several significant things. While the power of creative visualization is a great power, there is certain limits to using it. People often limit themselves and fail to look beyond the small, restricted circle. They define themselves by their thoughts and beliefs. So we get into the trap of thinking about our current circumstances. It's not easy if you're having really tough times. I know I've been there. At one point in my life, I was eating one single boiled egg in the morning and one pack of ramen just because I'm so stubborn. I wouldn't tell anybody that I was having a tough time and I wanted to be able to survive on my own. So that's just part of my programming. But I knew how hard it was to move from that situation to the one that I'm in now. It wasn't easy, but I did it. And I did it through constantly loving myself, constantly accepting myself when I had negative thoughts, and constantly just rerouting. You just, in the beginning, sometimes it feels like every second of the day you're rerouting your thoughts, but having the faith and understanding that if we continue to do this, it really does make huge shifts in ourselves. You limit yourself to the life you know. The more open-minded you can become and the bigger you dare to think, the greater your possibilities and opportunities. Limitations are within your mind, and it is up to you to rise above them. This means that your thoughts have a lot of power. So you decide what your limits are. Honestly, you feed into them and you decide, you make a decision that this is as far as I can go. A lot of people did not accept that have done miraculous things in this world. If you read the book Think and Grow Rich, he talks about how he helped program his son to be able to hear and do some really miraculous things. So there's some amazing stories out there about using the power of your mind. So the good news is, if your imagination frequently conjures up negative images arising from your fears, it can be retrained to picture the results you truly desire. In this way, its powerful energies can be used to support rather than undermine your well-being, fulfillment, and success in life. Changing the way you use your imagination can be facilitated by the regular practice of techniques such as visualization of your desired outcomes, commonly termed creative visualization, as well as the use of affirmations, positive statements, or more unusual techniques such as self-hypnosis. So those of you that are interested in those, I have a lot of self-hypnosis, guided hypnosis on my YouTube page. I have shared quite a few of them here in the quantum healing group here, but I have about 17 of them and continuing to grow, and they are specifically hypnosis ones. The effectiveness of this technique lies in their creation of imagery that produces positive thoughts, feelings, and actions. Practiced regularly, they gradually convey to your subconscious mind that the achievement of a desired outcome is possible. When convinced in this way, the subconscious mind is then stimulated to tap into the resources needed to attain the goal. Intuition plays an important role here, acting as a sort of messenger between the subconscious and conscious parts of your mind. It alerts you to opportunities in the external world that match the images or thoughts created in your mind. The key to making the most of your imagination's potential lies in two important factors: your awareness of the habitual ways in which it operates, your willingness to work at changing these habits if they're not allowing you to create the life you truly desire. So the first key to this is the awareness of your habits, understanding them, allowing them, loving them. It goes all with the message in the beginning, is understanding these parts of yourself and then being willing to change them. Changing means positive action towards it, intentionally visualizing, intentionally doing self-hypnosis, doing affirmations, feeding your mind visualizations of videos and music and stuff that's going to create the reality that you truly want to be living in. All right. Oh, it's down here, silly girl, silly goose. So that's imagination. I think that it's important that, you know, I not only reminded myself of this important message, I really can get caught up in things. And I really can, like my post said, I can forget something when I go into the other room like 4 or 5 times in a row. You know, I've had to actually throw out a coffee because I forgot it so many times. So I've been working intentionally on setting a schedule and a routine. This is where routines come in really beneficial for you. If you start being intentional to set aside time to imagine your desired outcomes, no matter what it is, sitting there and thinking about it and feeling into it, because eventually you will believe it. And once you believe it, you can achieve it. So that's the message for today. What is tomorrow's? Hold on, underneath my thing here. So tomorrow is change your personal rules for success. This one's going to be a good one because I think that we really fall into going by society's norms of what the rules for success are. So we define whatever it is that we want into our life. We've seen this on our journey so far for inspired messages, and we will continue along this path for the next few weeks here, continuing to inspire ourselves to reconnect with our ability to manifest our life that we truly want to be living. We do not have to live in the space of where we feel resistance and where we know that we're not meant to be. It's a choice to, like we said, you can't get something from nothing. So part of that, you know, saying is dedicating time to your imagination and your abilities towards manifestation. And we've taken that journey so far. So applying all of these different messages is part of your persistent towards that visualization. Eventually it will happen because you're being intentional. So I look forward to seeing you guys all tomorrow. That was the message to take away from today is the more you learn to take a fearless and moral inventory on yourself and your cycles that you go through, your habits in life, the more you're going to be able to apply changes to those situations in life. So if you are wanting assistance, if you are wanting to develop more of your intuition and your imagination and really get into a cycle and a routine and planning out your life, I definitely can assist you. But I would say tune in every day if you can, even if you're not live on these videos, you can watch the replay, because everything that we do during the day that motivates us, that realigns us, because we can so easily get wrapped up with all of these powerful energies that are going on in day-to-day life and stresses and our current reality. We can get really wrapped up with that. The more we take ourselves away from our end goal. So my intention for this few weeks of inspired messages and hopefully continuing on for the rest of this year on a regular basis will be to help motivate, help educate, because knowledge is power, and help us all to create the shifts that, you know, the universe wants us to do as a collective. We make really big ripples every time we make a change in our life, because you know that moment when you're inspired by somebody, you're drawn to them, you feel it in your soul. So think of how many times you've made that impact in other people's life just by making some changes on yourself. So, you know, a lot of us that are healers in life, we fall into trying to help other people before we help ourselves. And that's one of the messages is when we learn to love ourselves, we learn to focus on ourselves, we help more people in turn by doing that because we inspire and motivate people that way. So I love you. I am going to finish my self-care routine this evening, going to work on tomorrow's presentation, as I like to call it, because I do like to have the visualizations there for everybody because I am a visual learner as well as actively. So I love each and every one of you guys. If I'm reaching out, it's just because I thought that maybe today's message would be an important one for you. I intuitively feel that sometimes. And I look forward to continuing to connect with you guys because this is what my sole purpose is to spread knowledge and help people heal. So I'm doing that through these inspired messages. So I love you guys all. I will see you tomorrow. Does anybody have any questions? I think I've seen someone on here. Ashley's on here. Hi, Ashley. I heard you earlier. Thank you for joining. You don't have to say anything. If you do have any questions, I am here. So before I log off, I'll just hold a moment here. And remember with these videos, it doesn't have to be questions. I'm not the Queen of Sheba, but if you have any takeaways, if you feel like you would like to share, please, this is the space for that. So it's really nice to see you on here, Ashley, and I look forward to continuing as we go. Oh, no problem. This isn't, we're not in a classroom setting, so I'm just happy that you took some moments out here today. I hope everything resonated. I know it did for myself. It makes me want to kick myself in the butt and say, you know, what are you doing at night? Why have you strayed from your routine? So routines are good. So I love you all. I will see you tomorrow for Change Your Personal Rules for Success. This is going to be a big one. I love each and every one of you guys. Thank you for joining. Those of you on the group, I see there was quite a few of you guys. So thank you. Have a great day.